Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mundell, and I'm the Duneland Chamber President. Leadership is at the core of our mission at the Chamber, and it is essential to the success of our business community. As many of you know, the Duneland Chamber proudly represents 5 towns: Chesterton, Porter, Burns Harbor, Beverly Shores, and Dune Acres, and we advocate for over 450 businesses, ensuring that their interests are represented. Today we are fortunate to have many candidates joining us, and we appreciate your cooperation in making this forum possible. We want to remind you that the Duneland Chamber is nonpartisan. We extend an invitation to all candidates, regardless of political affiliation, who are running for office in this election. Any responses received were then listed alphabetically by office. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to speak. Our volunteer, Bob Gearhart, will be timing each presentation and signaling a 30-second warning in the back of the room, and you can see him giving an example in the back. Very high-tech we are. Followed by a stop sign when time is up. To keep things moving smoothly, please be prepared to come to the podium when it's your turn. And to our on-deck spot, when you are up next, Barb is already seating there. She's our Vanna today. You will not be introduced, so please go in order of the program. I do also want to remind you that we are recording this, and that will be available next week, and we will send that out via our membership and to our candidates. We kindly ask that everyone silence their phones, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
First of all, these are very serious times. Our military is in an armed conflict, and it takes very serious leadership. I'm leaving for DC today. But ultimately, what I want you to know is, wherever I go, people want someone to unify not only our district, our state, and our country, but bring us together. To be able to use language that doesn't divide us or tear us apart, but actually brings us together. And I have done that in my words and in my deeds, in working in a bipartisan way and making sure that I don't tear people down. Secondly, big picture. My mission, without distraction, is to bring work and wealth and public and safety to this community. So work and wealth, or we'll start with public safety. I've been able to work with the police departments throughout all of the 1st District and have brought millions of dollars to them. For Chesterton, for technology, for Valparaiso, and for the Porter County Sheriff. Technology that is eyes and ears in our communities that allow you to live, work, and play in safer communities. I've worked with the Porter County Sheriff, Sheriff Balon, to make sure we use the next level of technology and to find funding and keep finding funding for a drone so that you can have eyes on the lake, that you can get there in emergency situations so that we can have the technology to be safer. Big picture, we were able to bring the double tracking to Northwest Indiana. Along with the double tracking, the West Lake Corridor connects you to one of the top tier global economies. With that, you laid quantum fiber, which is the next level of computing that our community and children's children can utilize. We're working on a project that would spread quantum computing through Lake Porter and Porter County, connecting it to Chicago. That means advanced manufacturing, defense contracts, and it means biosciences coming to our areas so the next generation of workers can come. So you have to talk about costs. I am on Energy and Water Subcommittee on Appropriations. My job is to invest in energy systems that are the renewables that this administration is choosing not to invest. So I want to make sure that we increase our supply of energy so we can reduce our demand. It is a fact that the Indiana Regulatory Commission determines the rates by NIPSCO. The federal government does not do that. My job is to make sure NIPSCO has different sources to increase demand, and that's what I'm working on every single day. When it comes to costs with groceries, the farmers have been killed on tariffs. I am working, their markets have been closed, and I am working on legislation that opens up E15 so that they can use their corn to create new fuels that are cleaner for our carbon and put them to work. Their input costs have gone 43% up. I'm endorsed by the Indiana Farm Bureau, and I'm going to continue working with them. Workers. The administration, this current administration, had made sure that they reduced, the first time in the American history, 83% of union workers in the federal government were stripped with collective bargaining. They sent a message to corporate America that unions are a target. We have 2,700 families, NIPSCO and BP, 2,700 families that are locked out. I will use every point of leverage of my office to put those people back to work and to make sure that the message is clear, that our workers from NIPSCO, who keep our community safe when there are storms and emergencies, we have qualified, not replacement workers, coming to our communities to work where there's a gas leak, where there's energy. My job is to make sure that we talk to those presidents and management to put those people back to work so we live in a safe community, and I will use every point. I'm humbled by the opportunity to speak to you. I'm Frank J. Mrvan, and I want to unify our community, create work and wealth, and make sure you live in a safe community. I ask for your vote, and I will respectfully do everything I can to make sure we deliver for Northwest Indiana. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Barb Regnitz. I'm one of your Porter County Commissioners, and I'm running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. 4 years ago, I stood right here and I asked for your vote for Porter County Commissioner. And I never imagined I'd be standing here today asking for your vote for Congress. And I can honestly say, I'm honored and blessed that I have this opportunity, and my husband will tell you from his perspective, things clearly got out of hand. Now, when I win the primary, I'll be the very first candidate from Porter County to run for Congress in this district. But I'm not asking for your vote because it's historic. I'm asking because I've built a record of getting things done. As a commissioner, we focused on practical improvements. In public safety, we added 2 police social workers using opioid settlement funds, and we're investing over $25 million in the jail and the sheriff's office just down the road here. We also created a public safety commission to better understand what our first responders need. We strengthened the county financially. We improved our credit rating to AA-, which allowed us to fund 2 bonds for less than the price of 1 that rolled over. And we made changes people actually see. We renovated the Memorial Opera House, and we fixed up the old sheriff's residence next door to it to lease to Market 102. We took a vacant Mexican restaurant on Franklin Street and turned it into a far more accessible and visible location for voters' registration, which, by the way, is a huge improvement over sending people to the basement of our admin building. That also freed up space to expand the health department, veteran services, and the coroner, services that people greatly rely on. And we supported local recovery organizations like 320 Recovery and the Caring Place, because that matters in our communities. I'm telling you this for one reason only, because this is exactly how I will serve in Washington, D.C. Rolling up my sleeves, solving problems, getting results. Now, I'll be honest, this was not an easy decision. I'll be going from one of 3 commissioners to one of 435 congressional members. From a 1.6 mile commute to however long it takes to get to Washington, D.C. from Valpo. But this district, Porter, Lake, and LaPorte, and the people who live here are worth it. I bring a background in business, technology, and finance. I understand budgets, accountability, and how to make things work. I will fight for more resources for this district, not just affordability, but real prosperity. And I will always, always put people above special interests. Let's bring some common sense, real results, and some Porter County values to Washington, D.C. I'm Barb Regnitz. I'm running for Congress in our district, and I would truly appreciate your vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for the organizers for hosting this event, this forum, and to all of you for being here today. My name is Ben Ruiz. and I'm running for the Republican nomination for the U.S. House of Representatives in Indiana's 1st Congressional District. I currently reside in East Chicago, Indiana, where my wife and I raise 6 children, 2 of whom are special needs. We are building our future here in Indiana. Like so many of you, I am fed up with Washington putting special interests, open borders, and political games ahead of American families and communities. I'm not a career politician. I'm a conservative voice who has never voted Democrat and who believes it's time to put America and Indiana first with common sense, leadership, and real accountability. Here's what I will fight for in Congress. First, securing our borders and stopping illegal immigration. We cannot have safe communities or a functioning nation when our southern border remains wide open. I will support finishing the wall, enforcing our immigration laws, ending catch and release, and ensuring that federal resources actually protect American citizens instead of rewarding those who break our laws. Enough is enough. Our sovereignty and our safety must come first. Second, public safety and the rule of law. We must stand unequivocally with our law enforcement officers, especially our federal agents, who put their lives on the line every day. I will work to defund and dismantle any efforts that undermine policing, and I will push back hard against chaos in our streets. Third, holding officials accountable. Members of Congress, along with state and local party officials who continuously incite rioting, violence, and attacks, especially when directed toward federal law enforcement, must face real consequences. No one is above the law. We need leaders who will uphold the Constitution, not those who cheer on disorder for political gain. I will demand investigations, transparency, and accountability to restore trust in our institutions. We also need to strengthen our local economy by cutting burdensome regulations, supporting small businesses and farmers, and ensuring our kids get a real education focused on basics, not gender, ideology, and communistic ideology. Sorry about that. I don't claim to have every answer, but I do have the courage to speak the truth. The backbone to fight for Indiana values and the commitment to put American citizens first, and always. I'm asking for your support, your ideas, and your vote this May 5th primary. Together we can restore law and order, secure our borders, and bring real accountability back to Washington. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is LaVetta Sparks-Wade, and I, too, am a candidate for the 1st Congressional District of the great state of Indiana. I was born and raised in the city of Gary, and you can read all about me on my website, LaVettaForCongress.com. I graduated from Lew Wallace High School with honors, went on to Tuskegee University, got my undergrad in political science, and then came back home, got my master's degree in public affairs with a 4.0 GPA. I've been doing this since I was about 6 years old, when I started watching the news with my father, who was later killed when I was 10 years old. My mother and my sister are here. My mother was widowed at the age of 34. I am here because of her. I am here because of all of you. My mother is experiencing the early stages of dementia right now, and last night I went to a meeting of NIPSCO regarding NIPSCO with the Indiana Utilities Regulating Commission. There were several people in the room in the library in Gary. One retired lady indicated that her bill went from $700 to $2,200. Another small business employee who handles all of the accounts payable indicated that their bill went from $17,000 to $150,000. And this is what NIPSCO is doing to us. We can't afford it. I can't afford it. You can't afford it. Nobody can. We are on the verge of collapse economically in this region. And even though my opponent talked about unifying, he never talked about the fact that he hasn't been able to unify. We are the most divided country, I believe, in the world right now. There are two sides, and you have to pick one. I am a fighter, and I have believed in this country. We used to stand and say the pledge, and my country, 'tis of thee, but no more, because you're either described as a patriot or you're not. And Democrats are looking more like patriots as far as I'm concerned, because we stand on the Constitution. It's not right to kill United States citizens in the middle of the street because they are protesting. It's not right. It's not right for ICE to drag people out of their homes, off of their jobs, for what is now a civil violation. What is happening to our economy? What is happening to our country? It has to be a situation whereby we stand and we fight. My name is LaVetta Sparks-Wade, and I am asking not only for your support, but for your vote as well to represent you in Congress. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Before I get started, I just want to acknowledge the obvious. I know, I am clearly much better looking than Senator Rodeny Pol. You know, I get it. He asked me to fill in because he knew I could really elevate the room. My name's Erin Collins, and I currently serve on the Chesterton Town Council. But in all seriousness, Rodeny wishes that he could be here today. He's absent for a pretty great reason. He's at the State House right now. The governor is signing his bill that adds us in Porter and LaPorte counties to the Indiana Crime Guns Task Force. And that's real, meaningful public safety work that brings funding, training, and federal partnership to our local law enforcement agencies. It's exactly the kind of leadership Rodeny brings every single day. And that's who Rodeny Pol is. He's not someone who just talks about results. He delivers them. In fact, a joint study by Vanderbilt University and the University of Virginia ranked Rodeny as the most effective Democratic state senator in Indiana. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because he shows up. He does the work, and he fights for people. And he does it across the aisle. Rodeny has led on life-saving legislation, expanding access to life rings, tackling substance use disorder, and addressing overdose prevention. These aren't abstract policies. They are initiatives that are saving lives right here in our community. He's also been a champion for economic development. Just this session, he helped push forward projects like the Bear Stadium development and supported bringing 8 new businesses to downtown Michigan City. That means jobs, growth, and opportunity for our district. But just as importantly, Rodeny knows when to fight back. He has stood strong against anti-worker legislation pushed by the Indiana supermajority. He has been a vocal opponent of unfair redistricting, and he told Washington, no, we're going to keep the region's voice intact. He's fought against efforts to cut early voting, and if you've ever watched him go toe-to-toe advocating for lower utility costs, fighting for relief for families who are feeling squeezed every single month. Go to his social media and see it for yourself. On Facebook, Rodeny Pol Jr. for Indiana, or State Senator Rodeny Pol Jr. And he's not slowing down. Rodney's working on forward-thinking legislation like I-Pass toll vouchers to help offset rising costs from the toll road bill, a $35 insulin cap to make life-saving medication affordable, and fully funding childcare so working families can thrive, not just get by. At the end of the day, Rodeny Pol works for you. He works for the families trying to make ends meet. He works for the workers who deserve a fair shot. And he works for communities that want to grow and succeed. And he does it with integrity, determination, and results. I'm proud to support State Senator Rodeny Pol for Indiana State Senate. He has my vote, he has my family's vote, and I hope that he has yours too. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I'm Nate Uldricks. I'm seeking the Republican nomination for Indiana State Senate District 4. Thank you for the Duneland Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum. District 4 includes Burns Harbor, Chesterton, Michigan City, Westville, the beach community, South Haven, and my hometown of Portage. I grew up third generation in a working class union and public servant family in Portage, and I knew early on that I wanted to serve the public and make an impact in my community. My dad was in the Army for 30 years and now helps veterans. My mom went from being a waitress to now working with special ed kids south side of Chicago. But my biggest influence was my grandma. She didn't have a high school degree. She was the janitor at our church, yet was very active in the Portage community. She seemed to know everyone and care about everyone, and she encouraged me to go to Purdue. At Purdue, I studied engineering, and what I learned more than anything was how to solve problems for people. My senior year, I worked with a local hospital that was struggling with scheduling. Patients were waiting too long and staff were frustrated. So we mapped the process, identified bottlenecks, and redesigned the system. The result, shorter wait times, better access for patients, and a smoother experience for everyone. It wasn't about theory, it was about making something work better for people. Years later, when I was elected chairman of Pine Township, it all came back to me. Pine Township is a small, often overlooked part of the county. One day, an elderly man came to me as a last resort. His neighbor had put up a billboard on his property, but the light was so bright, it was shining into his home all night. He couldn't sleep. He tried everything and no one had helped him. So I looked into it, analyzed the rules and codes, escalated to the right people, and guess what? We got it fixed. Again, not flashy, but it mattered. Because to him, this wasn't a small issue. This was his quality of life, his ability to sleep. And that experience taught me something important. Too often, places like Pine Township, and frankly, districts like the 4th, get overlooked. They get overlooked locally, and they get overlooked in Indianapolis. I'm running to change that. I want to make sure that this district has a real seat at the table, that we have someone who knows how to step in, understand a problem, and actually fix it. And that's what I'm passionate about. And that's what I'll do in the state Senate. District 4 has been overlooked for too long. I'm Nate Uldricks, and I'm running to make sure we're not overlooked anymore, and to start delivering real results for the people who call this home. I'd be honored to earn your vote in the Republican primary on May 5th. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Travis Gearhart, and I am your token libertarian. So to give you some background on myself, I was involved in the Republican Party for years. It didn't take me all that long, I guess, or my early 30s, I think. I realized that if you're going to do anything to combat the two-party system and combat the way that things are, you got to do it from the outside. So that's what I'm doing. I am not satisfied with the way that Ed Soliday runs my district. I'm running for state rep, District 4, and I believe that an outside perspective is needed. To give you some insight, I was a South County Republican chair for several years. I ran and won. I was on the Hebron Town Council. Ran for Porter County Council, moved forward in the primary, lost in the general election. Real quick, raise your hand if you are actually truly satisfied with any of your politicians. Like really, raise your hand. There's a couple. There's very few, very few. Notice that a lot of the politicians raise their hands. But that's by design, right? We don't want to stray outside of our team sports. And that's what I'm here asking you to do. I'm asking you to get out of the team sport mentality. I'm asking you to vote for a third-party candidate. I want to step in. I have a 6-point pledge. I've already signed the term limit pledge. That is on my website, travisgearhart.com. And I'm excited to be your third-party option. So thank you guys so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from the rest of the politicians.
All right, how are you guys doing today? So my name's Ryan Kominakis, and I'm also running to be your next state representative in House District 4. I'm the Labor Democrat that's running in this race. You'll notice that Ed Soliday isn't here today. So a little bit about myself. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm an Afghanistan war veteran. I'm a steel worker and a union representative. So I'm not your regular politician. I still work 12-hour shifts in the mill. And what I truly am is just a genuine person that cares about his neighbors and his community. And we need more folks like that to run for office. Because what we have downstate, and my neighbors can see it, is truly leaders that care more about party politics and their campaign donors and corporate profits than they do the people that they're actually supposed to represent. What we need downstate is leadership that truly understands the struggles and concerns of working class families. So many of my neighbors feel like their voices aren't being heard downstate, and I'm running to change that. So one of the biggest issues right now for consumers, and not just consumers, small businesses too, is these NIPSCO bills that are skyrocketing. And essentially, Ed Soliday, he's authored all of the major bills that are screwing us right now. And if you're a small business owner, you're feeling it in your pocketbook. If you want a legislator that's going to get down there and change those laws, whether it's passing a new bill or amending the laws that exist, you're going to get someone that's actually going to fight for you. So like I said, I was a Marine. I fought for my country overseas. I've actually seen some of the horrors of war. Yeah, I've been shot at. I've seen some of the bombs detonate in the sand. I've been that leader my Marines look to. I've been their calm in the storm, right? I want to take that fight downstate. And then as a union representative, I've been elected to 3 terms as the section griever. The people, or my members, truly believe that I've got the balls and the negotiating skills to get real results for my members, and I want to take that fight downstate. So in November, because I don't have a primary, please get out there and vote for someone that's actually going to fight for you. So thank you, guys.
Morning, my name is Chris Cleveland. I'm running for House District 9. I'm a Republican, and right now I feel very uncomfortable because I agree substantially with what my Democrat colleague said a few moments ago. I think we have largely been overlooked. If the coastal elites see Indiana as a flyover state, I think that Indianapolis sees Northwest Indiana as a flyover region. And that's one of the things I'd like to change. I'm from LaPorte County, like many of you. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a software developer. I start software companies. I've had some successes and some failures. Right now, my software is used by dozens of Fortune 500 companies. I've sold millions of dollars worth of software. It's used by millions of consumers in 12 countries worldwide. And I've spent quite a bit of time dealing with a lot of things that have nothing to do with hiring a team or making a product or selling it, dealing with the government, having to deal with a lot of paperwork and a lot of external things that I shouldn't have to deal with. You know, I started out, I was born to an auto mechanic and a school lunch lady. And when I came here, you know, we're from a very blue, from a blue collar background. But you know, when I talk to people, you know, in my family, and I talk to people in the district and going to pancake breakfast, the one thing that I hear that people agree with me on so much right now, that the thing that has really resonated is when I say, too many people have their hands in our pockets. Okay? Yes, they do. When we look at healthcare, when we look at the utilities, when we look at government, and any big tech. I mean, look at the government, what the government has done recently. We have a new wheel tax. We're going to have a new local income tax. If the Bears Stadium comes, you're all going to pay a new restaurant tax and a hotel tax. And these things tend to metastasize. They get bigger and bigger. Tolls, we may have tolls. And we are going to have, if the hotel tax goes in, it's going to rise over time. And eventually we will become Chicago, where the current hotel tax is about 20%, believe it or not. Let's not be Chicago, okay? What I am planning to do, if I am elected, is to go against these very large institutions who take advantage of us over and over again. What I really care about is healthcare price transparency. I don't like the fact that I can't know what the price is when I go in to see a doctor. I don't like the fact that so many of our politicians, I have 30 seconds left, I could go on for quite a long time. I don't like what the utilities are doing, like everyone else. And as you know, we have two political parties in this state. They are called the insiders and the outsiders. I am an outsider, and I would appreciate your vote. Chris Cleveland, thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you to the Chamber for having this today. My name's Randy Novak. I am the current District 9 State Representative. I was caucused in October of 2025 in the fall of last year when Pat Boy, who held this seat before, resigned. Prior to that, I was on the County Council for just short of 11 years. Retired from the Michigan City Fire Department after 33 years. Prior to that, I was a volunteer firefighter, also a licensed real estate agent since 1998. So we moved up here, to give you a little background, we moved up here in 1969. So I've been a long-time resident of LaPorte County, and we spend a lot of time over here in Porter County. But the thing is I know the issues of St. Joe County. So I lived, paid taxes, went to public schools. My kids went to public schools. My kids my one son moved back to LaPorte County, and they're there. So I know the issues of Northwest Indiana. This last year, when it comes to 1002, House Bill 1002, we did support it because it did a little something on utilities, but the thing is in the House, we offered up, I think, 16 or 18 amendments. The Senate offered 20 amendments to try and do more on utilities. NIPSCO things are out of control with NIPSCO. I met with the IURC personally. I wrote letters to the IURC requesting an inquiry. I met with the governor to get him involved with it, to get him some action, because he's the one that appoints the IURC. So I'm downstate working for this district, and this district is the eastern part of Porter County and the northern part of LaPorte County. So I am very proud and very honored to be here representing everybody, and I'm the individual that, so I didn't go to college. I went to School of Life. I started working at an early age, got married very young, met my wife, been married 46 years, committed, have 2 sons, and started working. When I started at the fire department, people think I lived on the taxpayers' dollars. I made $14,000 the first year that I got on the fire department. 2 kids and a wife making $14,000. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the glory. I'm in this to help people and do what's best for Northwest Indiana and our specifically District 9. I also serve on environmental and he's raising his hand, and natural resources. So I'm here to work. We got the best resource that anybody in the entire lake with Lake Michigan, and I'm here, and I appreciate your support. And if you're not doing anything tonight, 219 Tap Room in Chesterton, be happy to talk to you more. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. So I can't wear my reading glasses and talk to you at the same time because I get a little dizzy, so I've got these giant notes here. And I think I'm just gonna put them away and talk to you. So my name's Ted Uzelac. I'm running to be in the Indiana House of Representatives 10th District. I've been a policeman for 30 years. I grew up in Portage, and my police career has been consistent. It's been uninterrupted. The only time it was interrupted was from 2004 to 2006. During that time, I took a leave of absence and volunteered for a combat tour in Iraq. Obviously, I was in a place called Mosul, and obviously war is hell, but I learned something really cool while I was there. See, I was there for their first free elections, and I watched people legitimately, like absolutely, truthfully dodge bullets to get to the polls, and it was inspiring. So I get back from the war, and I go back to the police department. I decided to run for office because I was inspired. So I ran for the Portage City Council and was elected for 2 terms. One of the things that I'm proud of is I was pivotal during that time in passing our city's RBO, Responsible Bidding Ordinance. So why am I here today? Well, over the next year, folks, it's an election year. You're going to hear lots about what's broke. I've been blue collar my whole life. I know it's broke. I know you know it's broke. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what we're going to do to fix it. So I think we can all agree that affordability, jobs, safety, and our kids' futures are probably the most important thing that we can look for. So affordability. There's going to, NIPSCO, we all know these things. We've heard about them. We're going to continue to hear about them. So what do we do to fix them? That's a huge question. Well, some things we can investigate and correct. There are things that we can find that there are problems and we can fix those. But some things we can't control. Things nationally, things globally, we can't control that. So what do? How do you protect yourself? You do it with a strong economy. You build jobs, and good jobs is what builds a strong economy. So how do we do that? I will tell you that the northwest part of Porter County has the ingredients to build the most beautiful job environment. We have an international port. I'm down to 30 seconds. I'm not going to be able to say everything I need to say. Let's build this port. Let's build a future for our children. Let's keep our communities safe. There's more about me at teduzelac.com. I'm going to stick around here if any of you want to talk to me. Thank you very much.
I'm Jon Schick, a Libertarian, and I will be on the ballot for State's Auditor in the coming election. I know I'll be on the ballot because rather than being chosen in taxpayer-funded primaries, the Libertarians choose their candidates at a convention, which we've already held. I'm from Chesterton. I think I'm qualified to be State's Auditor. I've got an MBA from Indiana University. I've got 30 years experience doing financial analysis on multi-million-dollar services contracts. I'm here for two main reasons. One is I think all of you deserve to have an opportunity to vote for an auditor that doesn't play on the same team as the people who are making the decisions about spending the money. The other is I'm always dissatisfied with the level of transparency that exists around how money is spent. For example, if I look on the state's transparency portal, and the Indiana.gov website has what's called a transparency portal, if you've ever looked at it, which is supposed to give us information about how money is spent. But if I look at how state money is spent in Porter County, for example, I find that 60% of all the spending goes into a single account called settlements, and there's no further transparency about where that money is going. If I were the state's auditor, there would be much more attention paid toward revealing information about where all the money is going that's being spent by the state of Indiana, and hopefully, they always say that sunlight is the best disinfectant, right? The level of transparency that exists is the best way to prevent any kind of shenanigans that might go on around spending at the state level. So thank you very much, and have a good day.
Good morning. I'm Rebecca Buitendorp, and I am currently the Porter County Circuit Court Judge. And I want to thank the Duneland Chamber as well for the opportunity to come and speak with all of you today. When we think about what makes a strong community, we often point to our schools, our businesses, and our neighborhoods. Just as important, though, is the judicial system, where rights are protected, where disputes are resolved fairly, and where accountability is enforced. That system must be grounded not in trends or opinions, but in consistency, fairness, and the rule of law. I currently serve as the Circuit Court Judge, and I preside over matters that directly impact public safety and community stability. These matters include felony criminal cases, major civil cases, and oversight of the entire juvenile justice system. That includes cases involving delinquency and abuse and neglect. My duties also mean that I oversee the Juvenile Probation Department and the juvenile detention operations. In this role, I have focused on using resources where they make the greatest impact. By eliminating a executive director position, I was able to reallocate those funds to 2 new positions of a home detention officer and a case manager, which provides direct supervision and support to the youth of our community. This strengthens accountability while also providing structure and guidance. The cases that come before the circuit court carry real and lasting consequences for individuals, families, and businesses. Handling them properly requires discipline, impartiality, and a deep respect for the law. Equally important is managing the court efficiently. Justice should be timely, but never rushed. Each case deserves careful consideration, and decisions should be based on evidence and legal principles. Maintaining that balance builds stability and public trust. A strong legal background, work ethic, and a commitment to justice guide my approach. I come from a blue-collar family where strong work ethic was instilled in me from an early age. I was the first in my family to earn a college and law degree. I then went on to serve more than 20 years as a deputy prosecutor, trying approximately 100 criminal jury trials. That experience taught me that cases are not just files or numbers. They represent people in our community who are coming to seek resolution and justice, and I remember that every day on the bench. That is why my leadership in the circuit court matters so deeply. A strong court depends on integrity, consistency, and respect for every individual who comes before it. Every litigant deserves to be heard and treated with dignity, regardless of circumstances. When the law is applied fairly and decisions are made with care, the court provides the structure and accountability that allows communities to function and grow. And that's why my qualifications make me particularly well prepared to serve in this role and meet our needs of our community. I'm Rebecca Buitendorp, Circuit Court Judge. I thank you for your time and your support.
Morning, everyone. I'm Judge Mike Fish. Thanks to the Chamber for hosting this forum. 6 years ago, I stood before this chamber, and I was a small business owner, an Army lawyer, and I asked you for your confidence in my ability to become your judge. And I stand here today, your elected judge. I'm happy to report that the commitments I made 6 years ago have now become the standard and the way we operate our business in Porter Superior Court 1. And sometimes it may be hard to see how a trial court's decision directly affects your bottom line. And I think it often comes down to bandwidth. A lot of people think a judge sits on the bench pounding a gavel. I don't even have a gavel, by the way. But managing a court is a massive operational and logistical challenge. And to give you an idea of the volume we're dealing with, aside from the heavy crimes and the interesting cases that you might read about in the newspaper, my court handled about 750 civil collections cases in 2023. This year I read a stat yesterday. I did a little bit of math. I don't do much public math, but I was able to discern that we're on pace for 1,600 civil collection cases this year. So more than double the volume in just 3 years. Most of those are out-of-state collection firms leveraging our courts to collect consumer or credit card debt. My job is to ensure strict adherence to the law while prioritizing timely processing of that massive volume with absolute and sometimes ruthless efficiency. We use technology, strict scheduling, and tight procedural discipline to keep that assembly line moving. But why does that matter to you? I would submit to you that if I let 1,600 credit card cases clog up my work queue, there's no room left for you. If a vendor breaches a major contract, if an employee decides to embezzle funds from you, or you face a complex liability suit, you don't want to wait years and months to get into court. So I need to keep my docket clean, my docket ready to handle the most important business for Porter County. And my commitment to efficiency means that when the local commerce actually needs support Superior Court 1, our doors are open and we're ready to go to work for you. I'm running unopposed this year, but let me be clear, I never take that for granted. I love this community, I love this job, and I still deeply appreciate your support and your vote in the polls. It validates the hard work my staff does every day. My ask today is different. My goal has always been to bridge the gap between society and the justice system. So don't wait for a summons to interact with the court. Invite me in. Invite me to your meetings, invite me to your clubs, invite me to your trade groups, employee outings, whatever you might host. And let's talk a little bit more about how the court handles its business, and I'll answer any questions you might have. If you're interested in what we do on the bench, input Indiana Court Streaming into your favorite search engine. Find me there, and you can join us for a court call sometime. Let's keep building a system that is as efficient and hardworking as all of you. Thank you. Vote Mike Fit.
Good morning. I am Chris Buckley, and I am your Porter Superior Court Judge. Now, why am I your Porter Superior Court Judge? First of all, I'm a hometown Porter County boy. I was born, raised, and I've lived in Porter County my entire life. This place means the world to me. I have humble beginnings. I was brought home from the hospital to a meager, humble, barely habitable trailer in Liberty Township. No silver spoons in my background. I live here now along with my 3 beautiful children, Violet, who's 13, Teddy, who's 8, and Rose, who is 7. Teddy's birthday is tomorrow. I'm the son and grandson of all steelworkers from 6787. I graduated from Chesterton High School with honors. Go Trojans! And then I went to go fight for my country in the United States Marine Corps as a machine gunner, in peace and in combat, with the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, and in that process, achieved the highest award you can achieve in peacetime, the Navy Marine Corps Medal of Heroism. I came back and I worked 2 jobs while going to college and trying to pay for it myself. I changed oil, I sorted packages. Then I went to VU undergrad and graduated with honors. And then law school and also graduated with distinction. And a few years later, I was privileged with the invitation to come back to VU School of Law and teach other lawyers and shape the future of our profession. So believe it or not, a few weeks ago, I was reminded that I'm about to enter my 10th year as a judicial officer. I started as the Lowell Town Judge, for those of you that don't know me. I was elected to the Porter Superior Court in 2020, and we've done a number of jury trials, bench trials, all kinds of motions practice. I gained a lot of experience in the last 6 years. Our Chief Justice saw leadership potential in me and selected me to be the problem-solving court committee chair, and in fact, immediately following today's talk, I have to go straight to Indianapolis to handle some business for that committee. I have countless hours in mental health training. I'm a recent graduate of the Indiana Judicial College, and I am a judicial scholar. But people ask me all the time, why do you enjoy being a judge? Because if I were a defendant, I would want a local judge who was the salt of the earth, real person, raised in the area with local values, who had a humble beginning and who understands what it's like to make a mistake. I have a good understanding that this is often a person's darkest day when they're in front of me, sometimes one of the few it takes to inspire them to change their life. If there's a theme, I'm dealing primarily with substance abuse and mental health, and I can relate. My whole life, I've been surrounded by these issues. I can tell you, mercy is a big part of my program. Our neighbors deserve second chances. But sometimes these stubborn addictions and old ways of thinking are deep, in which case a little more tough love is needed. Knowing that difference is what a good judge is. I am that good judge, and I hope you'll keep me for another 6 years. I'm Chris Buckley.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm Heather McCarthy, and I'm running for Porter Superior Court 4. A little bit about me. I am passionate about Northwest Indiana. My son and his wife are raising my soon-to-be 2 grandsons, in Valparaiso, and I have had the blessing of living near the dunes for decades, first in Miller Beach and now in the Ogden Dunes community. The Duneland community is an extra special part of Northwest Indiana. It's defined not just by the beautiful landscapes, but also by the people who live and work here, the businesses that sustain it, and the commitment to investing in the community. And the Duneland Chamber of Commerce plays an important role in that by bringing people together, supporting local businesses, and ensuring that growth here is not only thoughtful, but sustainable. And that is the kind of work that truly matters. And it's something that I've seen throughout my career. I started my career in mental health, implementing supportive programs throughout Northwest Indiana for young people and their families facing some of the most difficult periods in their lives. That work shaped how I view the world. It taught me that behind every case, every decision, there are real people, often in vulnerable situations, who deserve to be treated with care and with respect. For nearly 20 years now, I have practiced law here in Northwest Indiana, working alongside local governments and cities and towns on issues that directly affect communities. Economic development, public safety, and the legal processes that shape communities. And now I'm seeking to serve as your Superior Court judge, a court where often complex and consequential decisions are made. And in that courtroom, the responsibility is clear. Know and follow the law, apply it with steadiness, and ensure that for every person who comes before the court. And that responsibility is not flexible. And that's what I've done throughout my career. My reputation has been built over decades of doing the work within the guidelines of the law, and that's how I've served communities, studying the law carefully, applying it consistently, and approaching each case with the seriousness and the care that it deserves. I have spent my career in those places where the law meets real life and difficult decisions need to be made. And I understand the responsibility that comes with that. At the end of the day, communities like Duneland, the Duneland communities, depend on institutions that are steady, consistent, and grounded in the law. And that is the role I'm seeking to serve. Thank you for the work you do to strengthen this community and the opportunity to be here today. And I would be honored to earn your support. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Brickner, and I'm running for County Commissioner District 2. I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this event. Two questions that I like to ask candidates is, first of all, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and why are you running? First off, a little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Porter County. I was born at the old hospital. My kids were born there. Raised my kids in Washington Township. They both graduated from Washington Township School. I'm a Chesterton grad, Ball State grad. I like to say, unlike Judge Buckley, that I graduated with honors, but I did graduate. And I care deeply about about this county. My mom, God rest her soul, was a music teacher at South Haven Elementary School, where I went to school. In fact, talk about my law enforcement career, which I'll get into. I think it's where it all started. Back then, they had patrol boys and patrol girls, and we used to get out early, so I volunteered to do it. And we would monitor the sidewalks and make sure nobody would run and so forth. That's where I learned to fold the American flag. So it all started as being a patrol boy at South Haven Elementary. My dad, as a graduate of the old Wheeler gym, the old Wheeler High School, in fact, he held the scoring record there for several years. In fact, I just looked up the other day, he's number 23 on the all-time scoring list at Wheeler High School. He's 89 years old. He's still with us. God bless him. and he's in assisted living now. And I just found this out not too long ago, and I went to go talk and said, Dad, you went from number 1 to number 23 in scoring, and he's on oxygen. Cracked his ribs the other day, so he's in a wheelchair. But in typical dad fashion, his response was, well, if they had the 3-point shot back in the 50s, I'd still be in the top, at least the top 3. But anyway, that's a little bit about myself. I'm a retired Valparaiso police officer. I worked there 31 years. The last 13 years, I was chief of police. I've been Porter County Public Safety Director, and was the Executive Director of Operations at Lake County Community Corrections until January of 25, and now I am pretty much almost fully retired. I've been blessed with those administrative positions, and I'm going to say this from the heart, that I really believe that God gives us gifts, and all of you have gifts, and sometimes we go through our life and we don't utilize those gifts or recognize that, but I feel blessed. I've been able to recognize my gift, and that's public service. My gift is public service. I'm currently on the county council in my 6th year, and I'm running for county commissioner because of Commissioner Regnitz running for Congress. It opened up an opportunity. And during my time on the council, we have established a Class A credit rating, and it's teamwork. It really revolves around teamwork. The reason I'm running for county commissioner is because we need the right people in these positions. County commissioner is a position of leadership, and I look at the voters almost as a hiring board. To hire the person to do this job, and it's going to come down to who you're going to trust to perform this job with the utmost wisdom, integrity, and humility. I'm going to conclude real quick that I'm going to just 3 words. Just take a moment and remember 3 words when you please go to the voting polls and you're voting for commissioner for District 2. I like Mike. And it's on this side. I like Mike. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I went over.
Good morning, and thank you, Duneland Chamber, for this opportunity. I'm Cyndi Dykes, running for Porter County Commissioner, District 2. I am currently the county coroner, serving my 8th year and final term due to term limits. I would like the opportunity to continue serving Porter County to the best of my ability. I have worked hard to ensure trust with the county community as coroner, and will continue striving to keep that trust as commissioner. As coroner, I have proven fiscal responsibility, efficient resource management, and responsible use of authority with accountability. These are qualities I will bring to the Commissioners Board in order to maintain the quality of life in our county. I have lived in District 2 for over 50 years. I have been married for 41 years, have 3 grown children and 3 grandchildren. I have seen the growth and change in our county through the years. Our county deserves common sense leadership that will protect our community with that growth and change. I have proven myself as a leader rooted in honesty, integrity, and hard work. Together, let's build a stronger future for Porter County, where we can all continue to have a safe place to work, live, and play. I'm Cyndi Dykes. Thank you.
Good morning. First of all, I want to thank the Chamber for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about me. I am Jim Kocal, and I'm running for Porter County Commissioner. I'm a lifelong Northwest Indiana resident. I've called Porter County my home for over 20 years, and I've raised a family here, and I come from a blue-collar family. I was born and raised in East Chicago, and I know what it's like to sit at that kitchen table having those hard discussions about how to make ends meet, especially with the way things are to this day. I'm married, been married for 45 years. I have 3 grown children and 7 grandchildren. I have worked hard all my life and will continue to bring that hard work ethic to the Commissioner's office. I have both personally and professionally operated with integrity and accountability. I'm retired after 33 years as a territory business manager. I also was a high school science teacher and a coach prior to that. The nice thing about being retired and the advantage I have is that I will be able to commit 100% of my time and energy to the Commissioner's position. As a professional businessman, I worked with multi-million-dollar contracts. I put together business plans, and I also had to strategize on how to utilize those budgets in order to get the full amount of our resources, which I can bring to the Commissioner's position. I've been a leader most of my life as an athlete, as a coach, as a teacher, and as a businessman. I don't know here's why I'm running. I don't know about anybody else here, but I'm concerned about the chaos, the division, and the high cost of just about everything from gas to food to affordable housing, and the list goes on, as I'm sure you know, and especially with the way the utility bills are going. Heck, we have neighbors and friends and family who don't talk to each other anymore. That's troubling. So I'm running to bring a fresh perspective to the Commissioner's role, to challenge the status quo, and to ask the tough questions and make sure that our tax dollars are being spent responsibly. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I will work hard every day with integrity, accountability, and transparency for the people of Porter County. I ask for your vote. I'm Jim Kocal. That's local with a K. Thank you.
Hi, folks. Thank you to the Duneland Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. This is a great way for candidates to be able to come out and talk to the public and for the public to learn a little bit more about the candidates. My name is Kyle Nelson, and I want to be your next county commissioner. I am a lifelong resident of Northwest Indiana, and have lived in Porter County with my wife, Rachel, for the last 13 years. We chose to live in Porter County to be able to enjoy the combination of the natural beauty of the dunes, the vibrant downtowns, and the economic opportunities. I am currently a bar manager at Burnham Brewing, and I've previously worked in marketing and communications. Listening to and serving the community has always been the key to my life. My 3 pillars for running are also aspects of my life that I try to live by: communication, education, and community engagement. I believe the government should work for the people. I think that Porter County deserves to see something other than the same faces doing the same politics. Ordinary, working class people should be able to see themselves represented in their government. If elected, I would work to keep the public involved and engaged on the daily and weekly goings-on of the commission. I'll use social media and the county websites to keep the public informed on when meetings are being held and on what issues are being dealt with. I'll also work to improve the accessibility of the full meetings so that they are available to anyone who wants to access them online at any time. While this will help enhance the communication of the commission, it will also help educate the public of the work of their governments. While I've been campaigning, the #1 question I've received is, what do the commissioners do? As commissioner, I will put together short and easy to understand videos for anyone who wants to work or anyone who wants to learn what the commissioners do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. I'll also work with the community to educate the commissioners on what the people want to see from the commission. My final point is community engagement, and you can see how this works hand in hand with the previous 2 goals. I believe that an informed and engaged community is a strong community. The people of Porter County deserve to have a commissioner who has their interests at heart. I understand the importance of local action over national grandstanding. I believe that the county should spend funds responsibly in ways that help people in their real lives. When we communicate and educate our citizens on what the government is doing, then they will be able to better serve their needs. My name is Kyle Nelson, and I want your vote for County Commissioner. Thank you very much.
The individuals that come before or encounter the criminal justice system can be characterized in one of two ways. It's a simple and probably overgeneralization, but there are those that scare us and there are those that make us mad. Those that scare us are the ones that are violent offenders, repeat felons, the ones that make us mad, repeat driving offenses, substance abuse issues, mental health issues, as Judge Buckley talked about. I'm Andrew Bennett, and I'm running for Porter County Prosecutor because I think those two distinctions are very important in keeping Porter County safe for our families, our businesses, and those that love to call the lake home. I've been a practicing attorney for 27 years. The last 12 years, I've been in private practice. The first 16 years of my career, I was a prosecutor. The reason I left the office is my wife had a change in employment. At 19 years, she somehow didn't know how to do her job and was a budget cut because at 20 years, it was a mandatory pay raise. Our youngest child is now a senior at Purdue, and so I'm taking this opportunity to get back to the office that I've always loved. As a prosecutor and as a defense attorney, I've tried cases of misdemeanors to major felonies in 4 counties in front of 12 different judges. Additionally, as a private attorney, I've had the distinction and privilege to sit as judge for every judge here in Porter County, and have been asked to sit for 2 judges in Lake County. Why is that important? It gives me the perspective of what does a prosecutor find important, what does a defense attorney find important, and what does the court find important. And many times those goals are the same, and sometimes they're not. As a deputy prosecutor, I took the initiative with another deputy to create the first ever blood search warrants for serious OWI cases or repeat offender OWI cases here in Porter County. The other deputy, he and I helped draft the search warrant, implement the policy, and train the police officers at all hours of the day. I was also on call and would repeatedly go to crime scenes where there were shootings or crash scenes, helped law enforcement with search warrants and those things. The reason that is important is not sitting behind a desk, not taking the case simply from what you see on paper, but being there, living it, also understanding what law enforcement has to deal with. I would do ride-alongs with like Ted Uzelac back there. And my view of running this office is to collaborate with law enforcement, to work with law enforcement. I also took the initiative to train law enforcement every January and every July. The law has changed. So I would meet with them, discuss the changes in the law, how that applied to their job, how that applied to our job, work with trial skills practices as well. I also was a supervisor of prosecutors in both Lake and Porter County. I'm being told time to stop. And doing so also with trials. So I ask for your vote and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
My name is Gary Germann and I am not the Porter County prosecutor. Correctly stated, for the last 7.5 years, I have been your prosecuting attorney because I believe that the office I now hold does not belong to me, but belongs to all of you. So as I thought about these 3 minutes, I realized how uncomfortable I am talking about myself and the whole self-promotion thing. For example, if you were to ask me what kind of a basketball player I was and am, I would have included myself in the Hall of Fame, which I think is evidence that my perspective is severely flawed. But what about all the electoral buzzwords like experience, integrity, leadership, emotional, physical, and spiritual health? Clearly, the most accurate view of me is not going to come from me. So I invite you all to ask all of those around you with whom I interact professionally and professionally, other lawyers, our staff, chiefs of police, members of 2 major communities in which I'm involved outside my work, and I can absolutely live with whatever they say about me. But what I can speak to this morning is the health of the criminal justice system in Porter County. And I hope you all realize how fortunate you are to live here. The staff of lawyers in our office has never been better. Statistically, each of the lawyers in our office handles the work of almost 2 other lawyers. Our court managers, our legal staff are among the best, along with our award-winning victim advocates. We are blessed in this community with outstanding law enforcement agencies throughout the county, from the smallest to the largest. The chiefs of police and our sheriff provide unparalleled leadership with dedicated detectives, patrol officers, and cutting-edge CSI and forensic teams, all of whom work tirelessly to keep us safe. So the analogy I use for our prosecutor's office is that we're more like an iceberg, and that there are so many people outside of our office devoted to what we do, who are working daily to support our criminal justice system and, in the end, to keep us all safe. For example, one of our victim advocates, along with Judge Buitendorp, were instrumental in the creation of soft or comfort rooms in the courthouse. The project would not have been possible without the collaboration and support of the Porter County Council, Porter County Commissioners, Tri Kappa sorority, among others. Outside of our customary court calls, we serve all of our problem-solving courts for adults and juveniles. We support and are involved in a child fatality review committee, the domestic violence committee, newly created sexual assault team, the crisis intervention team for those with mental health issues, and our community corrections committee, just to name a few. The challenges we face as a community are always expanding as we confront the influx of violent crime from the West and the East, when in those cases we are seeking extended prison sentences. We face new frontiers of cyber and financial crimes, internet crimes against children, and yes, human trafficking. I love my job. I love everything about it. I love the people I work with. I know we make mistakes, but it's not for the absence of hard work and our search for truth and what's right when we make, at times, difficult, gut-wrenching decisions. Now, I do know this about myself. I do not want you to define me by putting an R or a D next to my name. If you want to put a letter next to my name, put an A for America. And as a reminder, as long as I'm your prosecuting attorney, we will follow the Constitution of the United States of America.
Morning, my name's Harry Peterson. I'm running for Porter County Prosecutor. So thank you all for coming out this morning. Thank you to the Duneland Chamber of Commerce for having us. And as I sit here and have listened to all of these people talking today, I can't help but notice that I think I'm the youngest one on this list. And that's intriguing to me, but it goes back to a perspective that might be different. So I'm running for Porter County Prosecutor because I believe we need to recommit ourselves to law and order here, and we do that through tough but fair resolutions that put victims and the people of Porter County first. We do that through tough negotiations. Over 100 years ago, President Theodore Roosevelt said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." And I remember hearing that line when I was 7 years old and thinking, what does that mean? But what it means is having the big stick, standing your guns, being tough in negotiations, and hopefully not having to use that big stick. So how that relates to the prosecutor's office is being tough in negotiations, not folding, not dismissing cases days before trial, not pleading cases out. Now, every case isn't perfect, and as Prosecutor Germann said, we do have some of the best police officers in and agencies in the state here in Porter County. But sometimes we don't have cooperative witnesses or victims. We do the best that we can. So a little bit about me. I moved to Valparaiso when I was 10 years old. I come from a family of law enforcement and public safety. My dad was a federal special agent for over 20 years. I graduated Valparaiso High School and then went to Purdue University, West Lafayette. And then I came home to Valparaiso University to go to law school. Soon after graduating law school, I started working as a deputy prosecutor in Porter County. Before that, my third year of law school, I interned at the prosecutor's office. I've been a prosecutor for more than 98% of my career. I've been a lawyer for almost 8 years now. And just as an aside, because it seems like I always get asked this, I'm 33 years old, not 18 years old. So all that being said, I care about this community, and I believe that the best people that we've heard from today in this room they've said similar things. They want to help people and solve problems. It's not about love for a job or wanting to keep your job. It's about serving you, the people of Porter County. And I pledge to do that, put the victims and the people of Porter County first. I'll have an open door policy. If you want to talk to me any time of day, I'll give you a straight answer. Other experience I've had, I served on Valparaiso City Council. I've served on the Indiana Dunes Tourism Board. I currently serve on the Porter County Park Board. I believe those experiences, approving multi-million-dollar budgets, have given me a different experience. So thank you all for coming out today. Thank you.
Good morning. Chamber, thanks for hosting the event. Citizens, thank you for coming out. And my fellow candidates, thank you for putting yourselves up there front and center for the positions. My name is Jeff Balon. I'm your current Porter County Sheriff. I'm running for re-election. A little bit about myself. I spent 30 years at the Valparaiso Police Department prior to becoming sheriff. I served in many capacities: patrol, investigations, administration. What I can tell you is that being the sheriff has been the job of a lifetime for me, and I'm very appreciative of it. And I don't take this position lightly. I'd also like to add that I am married to the love of my life, beautiful Katie. She's much better looking than me. Mike, you're the tallest guy. Harry, you're the youngest. I don't know what that makes me in this group. I'll leave that up to you. Before I talk about what we have accomplished at the sheriff's office, I want to say this. If a sheriff comes up and says, I or me, can't happen. It's about we, what we have accomplished. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished at the Sheriff's Department over the last 4 years. We put over 25 programs into place, okay, both internally and externally. I had to write some of them down so I didn't forget, okay, because there's been so many. But we have focused on leadership, retention, recruitment. We've put mandatory physical fitness standards in for our police officers. That's massive and that's huge. Not many agencies do that. We've worked greatly on community engagement. We've worked on Project Safe Roads, which is going to help keep our roads safe. We have more deputies on the road now than there has ever been in the history of the sheriff's office, which wasn't always popular. We had to bring deputies from different task forces because our job is to respond first and be there in critical incidences. And we put a large focus on that. We have put a focus on jail programs to reduce recidivism, and it's working. We work hand in hand with our schools, all the superintendents in all the districts in enhancing school safety. What we're doing is working. Now, I ran 4 years ago on being fiscally conservative. That doesn't mean we don't spend money. That means we spend it wisely. Okay? We have done that at the sheriff's office. We have enacted and we put things into place that make sense, that make our communities safer. Now, what I've been told or what I've been asked is, what are you going to do the next 4 years if you've done all this? It's simple. I have 30 seconds. I'm going to keep it within there. Okay? We're going to grow our patrol division. We're going to grow our jail. Okay? It's understaffed, but we have to work together as a community to make that happen. I'm going to work and focus on technology and those improvements for human trafficking, for child grooming, for child pornography. Okay? Those are our dangers in our community to our young ones. We're going to focus more on outreach. If our community trusts us, the criminals won't, and that's what we want. I will want the criminals to trust that we're not going to do our job. We're also going to focus on succession planning. Okay? What is this county going to need 20 years out when I'm no longer here? And we do that from within and working with our community. I'm Jeff Balon. I would appreciate your vote and your continued support. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Brian Gulley. I'm running for Porter County Council District 2 to replace the outgoing councilman Jerame Ruiz. District 2 is mostly Portage, everything south of 20 in Portage Township. I've been a Porter County resident for over 20 years. My wife and I will celebrate 20 years of marriage next month. We have 4 kids, and for the last 15 years I've been a member of UAW Local 551 out of Chicago, Illinois. I also serve as the president of Portage Park and Recreation Foundation, and from 2020 to 2023 I was a Portage City Councilman in the 4th District. Some of the things I'm most proud of as my time as a city councilman was our 15% pay increase for police and fire, leveraging ARPA monies to roll out police body cameras and buy a new fire truck, using SRF grants for wastewater treatment to get new clarifiers and a solar field to help with costs. Now, all the three of those things have something in common, and they're basic things, and that's what I believe local government should be focused on, is doing the basic things. Because nobody really thinks about your wastewater treatment plant until you flush a toilet and the water goes the wrong way. As a councilman, I enjoy being present in the community. I show up to stuff like this as often as I can. I like to be out. I like to be talking to the residents. I have a collaborative spirit, always wanting to bring people together to achieve the best outcomes. I've never considered myself the smartest person in the room, but I usually try and find that person and pepper them with questions. Most of all, from my time on city council, I'm most proud that we left the city in a much better financial situation than we found it in. And so why would I want to run for county council now is, as others have said, with Jerame Reeves now running again, it opened up an opportunity. And I believe I have knowledge and experience that can help the county continue to do the good work that it's doing. I love Portage. I want to be a fierce advocate for it again, as I was when I was on Portage City Council. My wife and I have committed ourselves to Portage and raising our 4 kids here when we started a family. So whether it's serving, like I said, on the Park Foundation or City Council, my wife's on the Township Advisory Board and the school PSO, we find ourselves all over the city helping wherever we can. I also believe in local government. It's the closest and most responsive form of government. It's not abstract debates. It's where we make decisions that directly affect people's daily lives. On the county level, that's roads, bridges, elections. And so I don't believe that any part of what the county government is doing is unnecessary. Not everybody in the state shares this love for local government. I know this from a time on Portage City Council. Some have worked at the state level the past decade or so to cap and restrict and fully eliminate revenue sources that your local government relies on to provide services. Over the next few years, local leaders will have to make tough decisions. I believe I have the knowledge and courage to make the best decisions. I'm not excited about what we have to do in the wake of SEA 1, but I am committed to maintaining our current level of services. We just heard the sheriff talking about wanting to expand things because we need to get more of that stuff, and that's, definitely want to at least maintain our level of funding so we can continue to do great things. Our residents deserve a government that's fiscally able to execute the responsibilities that we've been entrusted with. I thank you for your time. I look forward to more conversations, and I hope to earn your support. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Jon Miller, and I'm running for Porter County Council District 3. I'm running because I'm a Porter County native, and I care deeply about what happens here. The decisions we make today shape the county we hand to the next generation. Here's a bit about my experience. I've been in the medical field for over 25 years, and that work has taught me how important steady, practical decision-making is. Over the last several years, I have showed up to county council meetings, the auditor budget sessions, investing the time to learn how our county budget actually works. With that experience, I want to keep the county government focused on the basics: responsible spending, maintaining our roads, supporting public safety, and planning for growth in a way that fits our community. We need to prioritize our needs over wants and make decisions that reflect what residents are asking for, not what looks good on paper. And part of listening to residents means paying attention when they speak up. For the last year and a half, people have been clear about their concerns with the data center proposals. I've listened, and I stand with them. I support responsible development, but it has to fit Porter County and reflect what residents want. I appreciate your time today, and thank you to the Duneland Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. I'd be honored to have your support on May 5th.
Thank you, Duneland Chamber of Commerce. Porter County is about working families, community diversity, small businesses, and the power of kindness. Kindness has the transformative power to uplift lives, and the community is serving as a profound force that resonates deeply within us. It's an act of compassion and generosity that transcends mere words, touching hearts, fostering meaningful connections. In a world filled with challenges, kindness shines as a beacon of hope, reminding us reminding us of our shared humanity. In our daily lives, kindness takes many forms, from supporting those in need, to volunteering in our communities. It requires empathy, patience, and understanding. By embracing kindness, we enrich lives and create more of a compassionate society. Kindness is a gift that yields immeasurable rewards without any cost. Let's make it the cornerstone of our actions, knowing even the smallest act can have a significant impact. I've lived in Porter County for over 20 years. I'm a veteran. I'm an IU graduate from the Public Environmental Affairs. I'm a Harvard University graduate of their leadership program. I currently sit as the Indiana State Financial Chair. I sit on the Valparaiso HRC Committee. I have 30 plus years as a union organizer, and I'm a proud member of the United Steelworkers. I've sat as the treasurer of Allegiance Credit Union for over 20 years. I'm Jack Tipold. I'm running for Porter County Council District 3. I'm qualified to do this job. I'm asking for your support. As a family man, as a member of this community, I'd be honored to be your next councilman. Thank you.
Hi. I don't know if anybody knows what the average attention span for a human being is, but it's about 30 minutes. So please, I'm happy for your attention, and thanks for having me. My name is Dr. Julia Kocal, and I'm running for Porter County District 4. 25 years ago, my husband and I made our home here. We raised 3 children here. And as a grandmother of 7, I want Porter County to be safe and strong and thriving for the next generation. For more than 20 years, I've been in St. Paul's Church and Ministries, and I've walked along neighbors during times of joy, need, and more recently in times of chaos and uncertainty and anxiety. It has been my life's work as a clinical psychologist and medical director to listen, guide, and make thoughtful decisions that truly impact people. I will take that same care and responsibility to the County Council. Budgets aren't numbers to me. They represent seniors, working families, children, and how we build our future together. I'm running because county government should be transparent, it should be fiscally responsible to the people, and it should be accountable to the people, not the politics or the political insiders. The County Council controls the budget. That means your tax dollars, it means my tax dollars. It means funding public safety, it means maintaining roads and bridges. It's funding police and courts, supporting healthcare services and community programs, infrastructure, roads, and county operations. It also means planning responsibly for growth. It means, are we being aware and are we considering the environment in which we are putting in new business? What about the pollution, light pollution, noise pollution? How is that affecting our water supply? All of these need to be considered when we look at smart, responsible growth. I'm bringing independent leadership. I will ask tough questions, demand transparency, and make sure spending decisions reflect priorities of Porter District 4 families, not party agendas. The campaign is simple: demand accountability, put people over politics. On a personal note, I believe political landscape right now is unlike anything I have ever experienced. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. It is about doing the right thing. We can be good neighbors and agree and disagree respectfully, and as radical as this sounds, kindly. It is my job as a council person to keep communication open, to stay engaged, and to be fully transparent, and I'm accountable to those voters, all of them, not just those that vote for me. I will have ongoing roundtable conversations monthly so that I can hear every voice and need in Porter County, and I can keep residents fully informed, not after decisions are made, before they're made, while they're in process. So, my name is Dr. Julia Kocal. I'd be honored to serve you, and I hope you'll vote for me. Thank you.
I've been on the council since March of 3 years ago, since March I got caucused in. I represent District 4, which is the largest landmass district in the county. There are 12 townships. 6 of them belong to District 4. Gary Emerson graduate in 1969. After that, I joined the Marine Corps. I say joined because my draft number was 360. I was going nowhere. I could have stayed home, went fishing, went to college. But I saw a need. And when many young men were being drafted and some going to Canada, I volunteered for the United States Marine Corps. And like Judge Buckley, I have the Navy Marine Corps Medal for Heroism as well. How you get that is you must put your life in danger, saving a person. In my case, 2 people. So service has been there always. I've served as individual on Indiana Farm Bureau Board of Directors, Regional Federal Credit Union on their Board of Directors. I was a finance manager and insurance manager. I've done a lot of things, and I could stand here and take all my 3 minutes to tell you all the different boards I'm either on now or have served. But the point is, I volunteer and I serve. I'm not too sure whether I'm taking a step forward or everybody's taking a step back and I'm going, hey, I guess I'm it. But this is what I do. We talk a lot about fiscal responsibility. Fortunately for me, Dr. Cole mentioned some of the things that the Porter County Council's done. I'll tell you what we've done. I'll tell you what we're doing, and I'll tell you where we're going. What we've done is for the last 3 years with the help of people like Mike Brickner, Jerame Simpson, and Greg Sims, and Mr. Red Stone, we've all worked, just to name a few, to keep taxes down. In case you haven't noticed, your LIT has not been increased, local income tax, in 3 years. Last year when I took over as president of the council, I was told, you have to raise it 0.25. I said, no, we're gonna look under every sofa cushion and everything so we can keep taxes down. I had a request from Jeff Balon. He got a boat donated to him. Can you find me $46,000? I said, sure, no problem. We found 46,000. Quite actually, we found 103 that had been sitting for over 12 years, and nobody knew it. So with that, I went to the auditor's office and said, you find me every penny that's out there. And we did. And in 2025, we did not raise the LIT. We did, however, get Sheriff Balon 2 new police officers. And I see I have 30 seconds left. So let me say this. I've lived here in Porter County. I'm an organic produce farmer. I work across the aisle. And we have to work together, Republican, Democrat, even Libertarian, because I guarantee you, folks, if we don't work together, we will guaranteed sink together. My name is Andy Vasquez, and I'm running for 4th District County Council. Thank you.
My name is Barb Regnitz. I'm a mom, an accountant, a current Valparaiso City Council member, a former union member, and the Democratic candidate for Porter County Clerk. I earned my bachelor's degree in accounting from IU. I raised my sons in Valparaiso, and I'm a long-term member of the League of Women Voters. During my tenure on the Valparaiso City Council, I've secured, along with the council, over $20 million in infrastructure improvements in just over 2 years. This investment creates local construction jobs and boosts our economy. Every dollar spent on local labor has a multiplier effect as it circulates through the economy. People who live and work in Porter County contribute to the economy by supporting our schools and shopping locally. As the Vice President of the Valparaiso Redevelopment Commission, I've advocated for doubling the funding for sidewalk budgets. I've increased school challenge grant funding to include both SELF and the Porter County Career and Technical Academy to give them an additional $50,000. I pressed for a later starter time for the Redevelopment Commission meetings to provide greater opportunities for citizen involvement. I collaborated with city leadership to create a project spreadsheet to increase transparency on projects funded through the Redevelopment Commission. I'm a board of delegate member of the Shared Ethics Advisory Commission. I sit as the liaison of the Board of Public Works and Public Safety. I'm a member of the Transportation and Town and Gown Committees and the Historic Preservation Commission. I championed free Valparaiso public transit on primary and general election days. I authored legislation proposing a non-citizens redistricting commission to draw local electoral maps. And when Indiana legislators faced federal pressure to redraw congressional maps, I traveled to Indianapolis and provided public comment to the Indiana Senate Elections Committee in opposition of the bill. So the clerk of the circuit court is a key county government position responsible for leading court and election administration, certifying election results, and maintaining election integrity, areas vital to public trust. This role demands operational leadership, sound judgment, and a commitment to accuracy and transparency. So my main priorities for the clerk include leading all administrative duties with fairness, accuracy, and equal accessibility in every transaction for every person, to maintain the integrity of the election process and expand voting access, and to improve communications between the clerk's office and the public. I've spent my career as an accountant, including 15 years of governmental accounting experience. I've led compliance activities for public and private organizations, working with federal, state, and local government agencies, including the IRS, as well as leading compliance duties for global operations. My professional and public service aligns with the leadership skills required of the clerk's office, and I commit to working tirelessly for all residents of Porter County every day. Thank you.
My name is Jackie Haney, and I'm running as the Republican candidate for the Porter County Clerk's Office. For 30 years, I have had the privilege of working inside the clerk's office, serving in every department: civil, criminal, small claims, traffic, child support, bookkeeping, and elections. And today, I currently serve as the Chief Finance Deputy, where I help oversee the finances and daily operations that keep the office running smoothly. The clerk's office plays a vital role in our county. It's where the records are preserved, where the courts rely on accuracy and efficiency, and where our elections are administered with integrity. It's one of the few offices that touch nearly every resident in some way or another. And whether it's through the court system, public records, or the voting process, that's a responsibility that I take very seriously. I also care deeply about this community. I've dedicated my time to serving in local nonprofits here in Porter County, including Kiwanis, 500 Turkeys, Close in Prayers. I recently went through the Porter County Sheriff Citizens Police Academy, which is amazing. I recommend anybody to apply for that this fall. It's great. I also finished graduating through the Hoosier Leadership Academy, and through that work I have firsthand seen how strong communities are built through service, accountability, and I've seen the people that step up and do the job right. As clerk, my focus is simple: to keep the office efficient, accountable, and transparent. We entrust taxpayer dollars and undergo multiple audits each year, so strong financial oversight and accuracy will also be a top priority. Transparency is just important, and monthly election board meetings will continue so that the public can see the work being done, and we will keep expanding our elections website so residents can stay informed and engaged. And inside the clerk's office, training and communication are key. Cross-training our staff ensures that we continue providing consistent, high-quality service to the people here in Porter County. And we will also continue investing in election worker training so that they feel confident and prepared on election day. We've already made great progress in expanding early voting, offering vote centers so that you can vote anywhere in our county. We've launched the Vote Mobile to help better serve our busy residents. I am very proud that I have been able to be a part of all of these efforts, and I can tell you that we're not finished yet, because the best is yet to come. I truly believe that the voter turnout increases when voter confidence increases, and through transparency, education, strong service in our community, we can continue to build the confidence together. The clerk's office isn't just my job, it's a passion of mine, and it's a work that I believe in and I'm proud to continue. I would be honored to earn your support and your vote in this election. Jackie Haney for Porter County Clerk.
Good morning. My name is Scott Kingen, and I'm running for Porter County Assessor. I would first like to thank the Duneland Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to be here today. I currently serve on the Town Council in Ogden Dunes. I am in my 6th year, 4 of which has been Council President, and that has given me a very good understanding about how local government works, and also how decisions ultimately impact taxpayers. In addition, it's given me experience working with municipal budgets and finance, as well as long-term planning, which ties back to assessed values and property taxes. I also have a real estate broker's license here in Northwest Indiana, which keeps me very connected to what drives property values and changes that impact, again, assessments and property taxes. In addition, I also work with the Portage High School Builders Trades Program, helping kids find career pathways into the trades, which also supports workforce development here in Porter County. As we look to the assessor's office, I really see there's 3 opportunities in terms of advocacy, collaboration, and education. On advocacy, it's how do we advocate for taxpayers? The assessor is not a policy-making position. However, the office is on the front line of policy decisions and responsible for communicating what's working and, more importantly, what is not with our state legislatures. In terms of collaboration, fair assessments often depend on real-time information, so making sure we get out, talk to local officials, real estate professionals, as well as folks, builders, and the business community, all the people who are on the front line of helping shape our communities. And so on education, I think there's a lot of opportunities to help educate the taxpayers about how the property tax system works in Indiana, how assessed values are created, as well as how to understand property tax bills, and also legislative changes and the impacts that they may have on folks. And all of that, I think, matters more today than it ever has, because businesses and working families are struggling with rising costs and economic uncertainty, which leads back to the assessor's role and why fairness is so important. Because when there's imbalance in the system, it creates winners and losers, and ultimately means some people may be paying more than their fair share. So it is that balance that is super critical for maintaining trust, supporting business growth, and working families, as well as ensuring our communities stay healthy and stable. That is my experience, my approach, and my vision for the assessor's office. I hope to earn your support, and again, thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
I want to first start by thanking the Chamber for having this event and allowing us to speak and talk about our backgrounds. My name is Sue Neff. I am your current Porter County Assessor. I've been the assessor for the last 3.5 years, but I've worked in the office since 2018. This is my full-time job. I'm in the office every day. You may not know this, but in the assessor's office, it's the only county office where you have to have certification in order to take the office, in order to move in. I'm sorry. I attained my level 3 certification back in January of 2022, and I continue to maintain that moving forward. To get your certifications, there's 2 tests for a level 1 to level 2. They're open book tests. But for level 3, there are 5 classes that are week-long that you have to take and pass these tests in order to get your level 3 certification. Fair and equitable assessments are my number one priority, and I'm able to do this by understanding all of the rules and statutes that govern the office. Since taking office, I have worked to bring some commercial assessments up to market value where they need to be. I have worked to ensure all entities claiming exemptions are truly entitled to be tax exempt, and remove many properties that are no longer eligible to receive those exemptions. This is to ensure that residential properties and all properties are all paying what their fair share really is. When I ran for this office 3.5 years ago, I promised to look into the over 65 exemptions. I've worked with our state legislators to help senior citizens afford their property taxes, and I know that the tax bills came out recently, and I believe that many of you will see a lower tax bill due to Senate Bill 1 and the result of all their legislation and hard work. The way the Senate bill was written, we should continue to see taxes going down all the way through 2031. There's also a cap that keeps seniors at no more than a 2% increase yearly on their tax liability. I've heard too many times that we are taxing folks out of their homes, and I will continue to support legislation that helps keep taxes affordable. I have the experience and the determination to deliver fair and equitable assessments for Porter County, and I look forward to continuing to be your Porter County assessor. Thank you.
My name is Erin Martin. I'm your current Porter County auditor. I've been in this position for 3.5 years. I think a couple of the important situations that have been brought to the forefront today was the fact that it needs to be a team in Porter County. You cannot be one person trying to make change without having the other people work with you, only because of the fact they have other views that need to be taken into consideration. The Auditor's Department works with every budget. The Auditor's Department works with the council. The Auditor's Department works with the commissioners. The commissioners, as you know, handle all the executive issues with having to do with the buildings as well as personnel. So it's not just ordinances, it's not just meetings. Any meeting that's held in Porter County is already put on media, and you can watch it on the Porter County site. So if you're ever looking at anything with reference to the buildings, permits, or if you're looking for something for NERC, or if you're looking for items with reference to the Planning Commission, Council, Commissioners, Health Department, all those meetings are already on site on the Porter County in.gov location. Now, our department is vast due to the fact we only have 14 employees, but our department handles all of the payroll for Porter County, which means we have to abide by all the federal and state guidelines. Our department also handles all the claims, which means every bill that's paid through Porter County goes through the Auditor's Department, but those that have their own levy, which would be like the airport, things of that sort. We have over a $50 million budget. That's for the general fund only. General fund has to do with the property taxes. We have $181 million worth of budgets because we do have fees and fines that are collected as well as other locations, such as when you get a traffic ticket, it's divided between the departments. Let's say it's from Burns Harbor. Burns Harbor gets $4 fee, and then some of it goes to the state, some of it goes here, so some of it stays in Porter County though. So you have to know exactly which ordinance and what's going on to where these monies need to be appropriated. We also need to make sure that when a budget is approved, it's approved for specific reasons, whether it be personnel, whether it be assets, things of that sort, and we need to make sure that those are paid properly. And that's why my staff, I only have 2 people that handle that. We have one that is claims and one that is receivables. Then we have our real estate department, and our real estate department has to do with all the deductions. Whether it's an elderly deduction, over 65, veterans deductions, whether it's a homestead deduction, all those have to be taken into consideration, and we also handle the transfers. So as you can see, the Auditor's Department has a part in each department in Porter County. I'm very happy. My staff is just, beyond this. They're so knowledgeable and they're so helpful. So what I want you to do is I want to thank you for your time here, and I would like to ask for your support in the election. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Leslie Nuss Bamsberger, and I am the Democrat running for Porter County Recorder. Thank you to the Duneland Chamber for hosting this event, and thank you for participating. A little bit about me. I am the parent of a child with special needs, and I have been active in the special needs community since his birth almost 18 years ago. I have spent a lot of time helping the children and the families in this community, especially at Self School, where I revitalized the PTO. And 3 years ago, when I found out that there was no music program for these children, I jumped in, got donations and funding, and began administering a program to these children for the past 3 years. It gives me great joy, and I have many children who are nonverbal who sing along with me, and that is really pretty amazing. Like many of you, I am fed up with the corruption, looting, lying, and secrecy in our government. And so my platform is simple: anti-corruption, transparency, ethics, and accountability. The Office of Recorder oversees documents relating to real estate, recording, indexing, and archiving them, as well as preventing fraud and maintaining public access. I believe it's time for someone new in this office, someone who has the energy and the desire to fix problems in this office and make fixing them a priority. As cybercrime gets more sophisticated, you want a recorder who has your back and who is doing everything she can to protect you, your home, and your nest egg from being stolen from you. Elect me, and protecting your records will be my top priority. I care if your records are correct. And elect me, and I will prioritize fixing the known errors on documents already flagged by this office so that your paperwork is correct and up to date. I will also work to create easier access via the county website. I think it's important for everybody to understand what is going on in the community. In this election, we want all eligible voters to vote, and vote with intention, because our shared future depends on it. So I urge you to read every name on the ballot, then make your choice. This is democracy. It's so important to read every name that 43 states do not allow straight party voting. Indiana does not even allow citizen-initiated ballot initiatives so that we could fix this. We can elect people, good people, and we can do it together. Have a block party and talk to your neighbors. Vote for me, Leslie Nuss Bamsberger, for Porter County Recorder. I'm a hard worker, the mother of a child with special needs, a problem solver, and someone who wants you to have a recorder's office that works for you. Read every name on the ballot and vote for me. I'll put the order back in Recorder. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jon Miller. I'm the Republican candidate for Porter County Recorder. I want to thank the Duneland Chamber for hosting this event. It's a wonderful event. I've always appreciated being part of it. Some of you may wonder what the county recorder does. Well, it's not, if you remember back in elementary school, there was a little instrument played called the flutophone, also known as the recorder. We don't do that. We record documents for perpetuity. I believe in the 30 years I've been involved in records management, which began with the county sheriff's office and 911 center. Once I got a taste of document management, it got into my blood, and I believed it was the best thing for me to provide my public service. Why do I run for county recorder? It's to serve. I am a problem solver. I think if you look back at my record, back in '95 when I began working in the records management system, going back and pulling forward to 2011 when I was blessed with being elected to the Porter County Recorder's Office as your county recorder, and then being re-elected again in 2014. During those years, we performed a lot of enhancements in the recorder's office. We were one of the first counties to electronically record documents to help streamline the system, not only for those submitting documents, but for the public. We have enhanced public access searching ability for public record. To dispel that, we do provide public record access. In 2013, I was blessed to be elected to the Indiana Recorders Association as their secretary. I then was elected in 2016 as the president of the Indiana Recorders Association, and once again in 2017. I was blessed to be working with a great board, and I think sometimes that's what happens when someone gets an award. I was blessed to also win the Outstanding Recorder Award in 2017 by the Recorders Association, but also I was recognized as the Outstanding Recorder of the Year by the Association of Indiana Counties. That was a team effort. I just was the lucky guy to have his name on the trophy. We offer several public access services. Some of those include property fraud alert. While serving in the Recorders Association, currently I am on the legislative committee for the Indiana Recorders Association. We take property fraud very, very serious. We have task force that we work with the Attorney General's office, the FBI, and local government. And it is something we take very seriously. There's deed solicitation letters, scams that runs. I believe in putting out public access, public service announcements to alert the public to allow this. I am married to my wife. I'm blessed to have been married to her for 34 years. We have 2 children, Brian, who is living in Virginia, and we have our special needs daughter and life child, Katie. And we also have a basset hound. If you ever had a basset hound, you know it's like having another kid. But they're a lot of fun. I believe I'm the problem solver you're looking for. I've continued to be a problem solver. I take security of documents very serious, and I'm a solution provider. My name is Jon Miller. I ask you for your support and your vote, and thank you for the time. God bless you.
And a day, I know. My name is Brian Bowles. I am running for Porter County Coroner. A little bit about myself. I have 22 years experience in law enforcement, criminal justice, investigations, and public service. In my full-time life right now, I am the head of security for St. Mary's Medical Center. My office is based out of Hovert, but I also run all of the security and safety for all of the St. Mary's offsites in Lake and Porter County. I manage about 35 staff members, and I oversee the security and safety for about 2,000 staff members and thousands of guests on a daily basis. I have worked for the Porter County Coroner's Office now as a deputy for about 10 years. For the last 7 years, I have been the chief deputy of that office. Some of the jobs that we handle as the chief deputy, I assist with some of the administrative details with the office. I handle all of the scheduling and then also assist with some of the training. I am running for coroner for a few specific reasons. One, I want to strengthen our relationship with our law enforcement partners. I want to do some co-training and build on that relationship. I want to really create a relationship between our local medical care facilities and, EMS, our doctor's offices, that sort of thing. It's really a place where we do struggle with a lot of communication between them and our office. Secondly, I want to modernize the coroner's office. We do a lot of things still like it's 1992. Great year, but it's not 1992 anymore. So I definitely want to modernize a lot of our policies, our procedures, and some of our equipment. Most importantly, what I want to do is build a relationship with you guys, right? I can't tell you how often I get asked, what does the coroner's office do? Or if I ask somebody, what does the coroner's office do? Most people's knowledge of our office is we respond and pick up somebody after they have passed away. There is so much more that our office does. Obviously, over the course of my career, I have spent 2 decades now being present for people on what is very much so often the worst days of their lives, or even in my hospital career, being present on the hardest days of their lives. I have an innate ability to create a sense of calm in those environments, right? I care for the people that I'm there to help. I care that they receive care, not just the people that were there that have passed. I want, when the coroner's office van pulls into your neighbor's driveway, there to not be a cloud of doom or gloom that arrives with that van. Much like when the police show up and you are thankful that somebody is there to handle that situation, I want you to be able to look out the window and get a sense of resolve, knowing that the people that are there to handle that and have the training to handle it are on scene and are there to help that family. So that's pretty much me. My name is Brian Bowles, and I'm running for Porter County Coroner.
Hello, and thank you to the Duneland Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to present my video. My name is Jerame Simpson, and I'm running for Porter County Coroner. Duneland is where my story really began. I attended Duneland schools and graduated from Chesterton High School. Like many of you, this community helped shape who I am through its schools, its values, and its people. Early in my life, I had the opportunity to serve this community as a volunteer firefighter with the Liberty Township Volunteer Fire Department. That experience taught me something that has stayed with me throughout my entire career. When people are facing the worst moments of their lives, they don't need politics. They need professionalism, compassion, and someone they can trust. That's what led me into a career in public safety. Today I serve as a police lieutenant here in Porter County. With over 2 decades of experience in law enforcement, I've worked alongside firefighters, EMS, hospital staff, and yes, coroners, at some of the most difficult and sensitive scenes imaginable. And that's exactly why I'm running. The coroner's office plays a critical role in our community. It's not just about determining cause and manner of death, it's about conducting thorough, professional investigations, working hand in hand with law enforcement and medical professionals, and most importantly, serving families with dignity and respect during incredibly difficult times. This is not a position where you can learn on the job. It requires real experience, real training, and the ability to make the right decisions when it matters most. Over the years, I've had the privilege of serving as a deputy coroner here in Porter County for more than a decade. I've completed specialized training in death investigations, and I've built my career around being prepared for critical moments, because families deserve answers, and they deserve to have confidence in the person providing them. If elected, my commitment is simple: to ensure every investigation is done thoroughly and correctly, to bring professionalism, transparency, and compassion to the coroner's office, and to serve every family in Porter County with the respect they deserve. Duneland will always be part of who I am. It's where I learned the value of service, and it's where I first answered the call to help others. Now I'm asking for your support as I continue that mission. Thank you for your time, and I would be honored to earn your vote.
My name is Julie Winkensmith, and I'm also running for Porter County Coroner. I had a brother who died in a house fire many, many years ago, and I never wanted another family to receive the notification of death in the same manner that my family did with him. And that's why I'm here. What does the coroner do? Investigates, determines the manner or the how, natural, accidental suicide, homicide, and the why they died, which is the cause of an unexpected or violent death. We work with forensic experts, pathologists, law enforcement agencies, and families of deceased to put the pieces of the puzzle together. We arrange for autopsies to be performed when necessary and collect toxicology when indicated. Most importantly, we assist in finding and notifying next of kin. My credentials and experience: I'm an ASCP, which is American Society of Clinical Pathology, board-certified medical lab tech. I've worked in various hospitals and clinical laboratories for 25 years, collecting blood and performing body fluid analysis, as well as supervising entire departments. For the past 19 years, I've worked at Valparaiso University as the lab tech for the biology department. I prepare all of the experiments for the anatomy, physiology, microbiology, cellular biology, and molecular biology. I'm an Indiana State certified medical legal death investigator and have worked as a deputy coroner for Porter County for 4.5 years. Having a medical background in pathology is a real bonus to being coroner. I can speak and interpret the language effortlessly and have been doing just that for many years. So experience, I have it, and I'm ready for this. The reason I run as a Democrat, my reasons are simple. I support LGBTQ, I support women's health, I support higher taxes for higher incomes, I support affordable health care for everyone, I support equality, liberty, fraternity, freedom, respect, and citizen participation in governance. I was raised in a home that more aligned with Democratic values than Republican values, but that doesn't make me anti-Republican. I'm just Julie, a curious girl about science, death, the human body, and its soul. I'd like to serve as Porter County Coroner, and wanting this job has thrust me onto this stage. So for these reasons, I consistently preach person over party. Though the position is an elected one, my goal is to make you want to choose the person who will not only be the best representative for the office, but for the families of those who die on our watch. The day the coroner shows up in their lives is the worst day of their lives. The dead don't care which side of the political fence you're on, and nor do their families. They simply care how you are treating them. Simply put, approach with a soft smile, confidence, kindness, guidance, and reassurance. This office needs a leader. The position is labeled as a part-time position, but it's anything but. We need to nurture good communications with our partners in law, our nursing homes, funeral directors, medical personnel, and lab. All good things begin with a good conversation. I believe that leadership and kindness can be a beautiful gift when wrapped up in the right way. I plan to be in the office daily with my finger on the pulse of the day-to-day operations, make necessary changes to create a good balance. I've provided a Facebook flyer in the back because it's hard to get a good feel for anybody in a 3-minute little bleep while you're standing up here. But just to wrap it up, how many of you have lost someone in an unexpected manner? Think about it. At that moment, who would you want representing you in that moment? It's me, the girl who will feel your pain as intensely as she felt her own the day her brother died. A girl who wants to help you on your darkest day, and I'm that girl. Please remember my name. I'm Julie, and I'm who you want to vote for your next Porter County Corner.
Hello, my name is Mary Jo Nuland, and I am running for Center Township Board of Porter County. I am a lifelong resident of Porter County and of Valparaiso. On the day I was born, I suffered from lack of oxygen, which is called anoxia. I graduated from Valparaiso High School in 1974. I graduated from Ball State University in 1978 with a major in departmental English and a minor in library science. I have worked at the Lake Public Library for 9 years, and I worked at the Porter County Public Library for 16 years. 3 days after my 30th high school reunion, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, autism. After my parents died, and they were Democrats, I became interested in politics. Even though I was already interested in politics, I believe that politics is part of people's lives, such as death and taxes. I believe that everyone, whether you are Democratic, Libertarian, or Republican, should be doing your civic duty and voting. The reason I decided to run for Center Township Board was because I felt that that was where my niche was. I am part of the poor, and when I did work, I was part of the working class. I believe that the Center Township Board is the best place for me to be because the Center Township trustee gets together with the board, and if you lose your job or if you have trouble paying your utilities, or if you have to have gas money to go on job interviews to get a job, you come to the Center Township trustee. Plus, the Center Township Board and the Center Township trustee works with nonprofits in Porter County and Valparaiso to help up people so that they can be busy, productive citizens of Center Township and Valparaiso. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will vote for me.
So good morning. As I stand out and look out the crowd, and it's hard to imagine that you have to make a decision in 3 minutes. So it's hard to make that mind up, but we have that opportunity. I'm Kevin Hagan, and I'm running for the Center Township trustee position. I never thought I'd run for public office. I was raised on a farm in South Dakota. Farming at that time was helping your neighbor. It wasn't a public office. It wasn't a job. It was something you just did. If you needed help, you got help. If somebody else needed help, you gave them help. So it's not just a way of being, it's a way of life. It was a way of life, just being a service person. If we gave help, we got it. We helped others, we helped ourselves, we helped others. As a kid, I was a 4-H member, and one of those 4-H's is a hand for service. When I grew up, I had a chance to go to the Peace Corps. I took it because I wanted to give back. It seemed like a small thing to do in a world of troubles. I learned that I am my brother's keeper, and that I have a duty to help those around me. After the Peace Corps, I worked for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. I worked for children with disabilities. Then as a nursing home administrator, helping the elderly. When I moved to Valparaiso with my wife, I kept it up. I joined Kiwanis. I joined the Valparaiso International Center. We raised money for scholarships. We flipped pancakes right here in this room with the Kiwanis. So it's an opportunity with the Valparaiso International Center to highlight the diversity of our community. We build wheelchair ramps for the disabled and for people who need those with the Kiwanis Club. So it's a way of continuing to serve. I'm running for the Center Township trustee because it feels like a natural extension of the work I've done my whole life. If someone loses a job and needs help with rent, the trustee helps out. Same with getting someone a food box or covering seniors' utility bills. We give folks a hand up so they can get back on their feet. I'm running on a simple, common sense platform, the 3 R's, so to speak: responsiveness, reach, and responsibility. I'm committed to an office that answers the phone, returns calls, helps people understand their options when necessary, and avoid the red tape. I'm going to work hard to expand the reach of our office, leveraging partnerships so we can do more with the limited resources. I believe in fiscal responsibility. These are our tax dollars, they're your tax dollars. The trustee's office isn't about a political party. It's not about a fight in Washington or downstate in Indianapolis. It's about service, and that's what I've done all my life. Thank you for your time. I hope for your support. You can learn more about me at haganforvalpo.com. Thank you.
First of all, thank you to the Duneland Chamber for inviting us here today. This is a great opportunity, and I appreciate it. And thank you guys very much for sticking around towards the very end of these proceedings here today. My name is Chuck Harris, and I am running for Center Township trustee also because I believe in local government, and I believe that it works best when it's responsive, accountable, and rooted in service to the community. In my current role as the Porter County Recorder, I've had the privilege of modernizing operations, improving access to public records, and ensuring that our office runs efficiently and transparently. In 2025, my office was honored to receive the Technology Innovation Award of the Year for that work, recognition that reflects my commitment to using smart, practical solutions to better serve the public. That experience has given me strong foundations in fiscal responsibility, customer service, and managing taxpayer resources with integrity, skills that are directly transferable to the role of Township Trustee. I also had the honor of serving as the Porter County Coroner for 8 years. In that role, I worked closely with families during some of the most difficult moments of their lives, ensuring professionalism, compassion, and accountability. That experience strengthened my ability to lead under pressure, make sound decisions, and serve our community with empathy and respect. In addition, I've got a long history in civic involvement, serving on multiple boards of directors that directly support our community, including the United Way of Northwest Indiana, Porter Stark Services, the Visiting Nurses Association of Northwest Indiana, and the Hub of Porter County, where I currently serve as the executive director. These experiences have allowed me to collaborate with community partners and understand that local needs at a deeper level and help guide organizations that deliver critical services to our residents. More importantly, my career has been built around working with people, helping individuals and families navigate challenges, connecting them with resources, and leading collaborative efforts across agencies and organizations. The trustee's office is often the last line of support for the residents in need, and I take that responsibility seriously. I believe everyone needs to know there is some place that they can count on when times get tough, and that's really what the township trustee is all about. I want to bring a practical, solutions-oriented approach to the office, one that emphasizes accountability, clear communication, and strong partnerships with local organizations, including the business community. When people need help, they deserve an office that is efficient, respectful, and focused on results. I'm running because I care deeply about this community, and I believe we can continue to strengthen the service we provide while being good stewards of taxpayers' dollars. I'd be honored to earn your support, and I look forward to working with you all at the Center Township Trustee's Office. Thank you once again.
Good morning. Thank you to Maura and the Duneland Chamber for this invitation, and thank you to all of you for your professional courtesy and staying until the very end. We have made it. I am Julie Wagner, and I am running for the Jackson Township Trustee. I am a proud graduate of the VU Law School. I helped set up and very much enjoyed running the Domestic Violence Center there. And my practice now, after 29 years, I'd like to tell people I started law school when I was 10, but they don't believe me, is business and agricultural law. So I take great pride in representing Indiana farmers and grain millers. And it's not surprising I practice agricultural law because I grew up on a large farm. We had sharecrops and livestock, but that's where my wonderful parents, my mom Kathy is with us today, taught me the values of hard work, perseverance, and also to respect the land and love your neighbor. And I loved when Kevin had mentioned earlier, you love your neighbor regardless of party affiliation, because you don't know when that fire, that flood, or God forbid, that injury or death in the field occurs. Something about me is I have also served as an adjunct professor of constitutional law. That has come in handy because during the pandemic, one of the many volunteer things I've done is offer my legal services to individuals, small business owners, and churches that were trying to navigate the maze of all of our pandemic restrictions and mandates. And I did that through the Christian Legal Society, especially for churches where their First Amendment right to the assembly and free exercise of their religion were curtailed. Also, from politics perspective, I have served on 4 presidential campaigns. Started when I was in high school. I got my driver's license and I immediately ran out to be a youth chair for the Bush Quail campaign. I think I have dated myself there. And then most recently, for the last presidential campaign, I served as the press credential clearance coordinator for President Trump's rallies. And that was part of his security forces. Speaking of security forces, I wouldn't be anywhere where I am today without the love and respect of my husband, John. He is a former Air Force K-9 officer, Department of Homeland Security officer, and a recent retiree from the U.S. Marshals Service. So respect for our military, our domestic homeland officers, and our first responders is first and foremost in our hearts. But I want to know too is, I want you to know that as the trustee, some of my key duties are managing township funds, managing township property, providing for emergency services, and providing for those that may be in financial need. I am willing, capable, and very excited to serve as the Jackson Township Trustee. And for those of my friends and neighbors in Jackson, I humbly request your vote. Thank you so much.